Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the A4Q Testing Summit Edition 2025. I am extremely honored to introduce our next speaker, Joel Oliveira. Joel has spent over 20 years shaping the world of software quality, and Joel's journey has taken him through just about every role in the software lifecycle, from developer, tester, manager, and mentor across many industries. Joel also holds several positions: head of QA, governance chair at the ISTQB, and General Assembly President at the Portuguese Software Testing Qualifications Board. Today, Joel will be discussing a very interesting topic he calls, Yes, AI Will Take Your Job. But before I give over to you, Joel, I just want to remind everybody about the Q&A session that we'll have at the end of this presentation. So pop your questions into the chat, and then Joel can discuss it and provide you a little bit more insight into it. So with that said, Joel, I look forward to this presentation.
Annelien, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. It's really an honor to be here today. So let's start with, let's jump into the slides. Please let me know if you can see it. You should be able to see it. So hello, everyone. My name is Joel, and I usually describe myself as being a tester. And hopefully I will not be alone here. Other testers will also be in the audience. And together with me, probably you already heard about different errors that will kill all the testers that will be without job. So long time ago, it was the time for automation, where automation came and they say, oh, this will be the end of software testing. Well, actually it was not. Then later on, agile, right? Agile that will solve all the problems. No more testers, no more test managers. Well, actually, in the end of the day, we are still needed. So it didn't end with our job either. But now we have AI. So is it the same thing or something different? I know that most of, or probably lots of my colleagues will say it's the same thing. So AI will not take our jobs. I have a slightly different opinion, as you can see from my slides. I believe that yes, AI will take your job, and I will get a little bit more into that topic. I will dive into that with some more details. But before, I would like to talk a little bit about AI. And let's start with a recent report from UN uh, regarding the size and the characteristics of the AI market. So we are talking about 4.8 trillion US dollars. Too many zeros to put in the slide, and this is the expected market value in 2033, and it's for you to have a way to compare. It's roughly the size of the Germany economy, or you can see it as double of the 50, almost 50 something countries from Africa. So double the size of the economy from all these more than 50 countries in Africa. And yeah, so it's a huge market. And it's growing quite fast. And of course, when it's a market of this size, it will create lots of opportunities, but without any doubt, will also create some challenge, create some risks, especially on the difference between the countries when we are talking about development countries or underdevelopment countries. Just looking for the firms, we can see that most of the patents, so 2/3 of the patents of the AI patents are from US and China, and only 100 companies from these two countries have a huge share on the global research and development. They are spending 40% of the total budget. So we are talking about big numbers, but we are not talking about a lot of countries. So those numbers are mainly distributed between US and China. Other countries, other regions are also starting to let's say, wake up, but they are not yet there. They are starting the race only now. Regarding the jobs, the same report says that 40% of the worldwide jobs will be impacted. 40%. That's a huge number. And the same report says that we need to have labor policies to protect the jobs, to protect the workers. And we are not just talking about software testing here, okay? But one thing that everyone already realized that AI is changing the way we work. That's a fact already, and to be able to deal with that, we need to invest in the reskills, in upskill, reskill, whatever you want to call it. But we need to learn new skills. These all these changes that AI is introducing, of course, they are bringing some productivity gains. And all the companies that are looking for AI, they are looking to AI as a way to save costs. How can we do the same or maybe a little bit more, but reducing the costs, cutting on the costs? And why? Because all the economy right now, it's in a very uncertain stage. So we don't know what will happen tomorrow. We don't know if we will have a new war, or if finally we will have peace in the world, or if Tesla will recover from the Elon Musk trip under the politics. We don't know if we will have a new tariff somewhere, but that's it's changing a lot also the way the companies are doing the investments. So everyone is trying to be quite cautious on the money that is being spent, and this is also raising some concerns with the use of AI and the displacement of the jobs. Why? Because as the companies are trying to save costs, uh, everything that AI is improving, it's used to cut jobs, not to augment the human capabilities. And this will also create a bigger challenge when we are looking for underdeveloping economies where the difference on the labor cost is a competitive factor. So countries where um, the this cost of labor is very low compared with other countries. So we outsource the jobs and that can be done remotely, and most probably those jobs will also be the ones that will be easily done by AI. So this will change the world economy. This will change the way we also work, the way we interact with other countries, with other teams. Um, Besides that is not inclusive. So when we are talking about United Nations, we are talking about 103 countries, but only 75 of those countries are actually involved, are actively involved on the AI governance initiatives. It means that most of the countries, the large majority of the countries, are not involved, are not deciding the way AI will be in the future. So they are not taking any part on the deciding the future itself. Also on the strategy, most of the countries, even 1/3 of the development countries, are lacking a strategy. And well, if we are talking about under development, then of course there is no strategy for AI. Even the ones that are developing countries, only 1/3 has a strategy. Most of the countries do not have a strategy, or they are starting now to decide to implement, to design the strategy that will be then in use for the next years. But this is already too late. AI is already being used. So now we are talking about regulations, we are talking about governance, and we are already late. So the countries need to start to speed up. And when we are talking about the strategy, we are talking also about infrastructure, about data, about skills. Skill set is a very important one. So these three main pillars are critical when we are talking about AI strategy. The countries don't have yet any clue on how to address them. So talking about Gen AI, so Gen AI is just another tool. And for testers, well, it's not the first tool that we see in the market. It will for sure not be the last one. And we understand already that each tool will need to be adapted to the context. So different contexts will require different tools, and Gen AI is just another tool, the new kid in the block. But by the other side, Gen AI is not just another tool. It's more like a peer, more like a personal butler, someone that will help us, that will assist us in different tasks. So that's a different side, a different point of view of the tools that we are used to see in the past, like tools for test automation, where they didn't add this perspective of the assistant. Gen AI is bringing that. Okay? And curious on this image, as you can see, we have Gen AI as a wizard with more than two hands, so it looks like it will be able to work even faster than humans. Or the last one, where we see on the right side, where we see the assistant, and I don't know, probably it's the humans on the wheelchair. I don't know what AI is trying to tell us, but this was an image generated by Gen AI. Well, Gen AI is also the new hammer. Okay, and testers love hammers. It's that tool, that template that we know, the technology that we know that we use on the last project, and even if it's not the best decision, the best choice for a new project, that's what we knew. That's what we know how to use. Everyone knows how to use a hammer, and this is our new hammer. Even when the context is not the best one for the hammer, we will use it. And we can see that already where we are using Gen AI for everything, even for things that don't make sense or for things that don't require Gen AI. We are getting used to this new hammer and we will use it uh, anywhere, everywhere. Um, if you know about hammers, you also know about this. A fool with a tool is still a fool. Okay. And this is not mine. And to be honest, I don't agree with it, or let's put it in a different way. I believe that needs to be also improved because the time changed. And I will say that a fool with a tool is a more dangerous fool because what you can do, it's in large extension also bigger. So when you have these kind of tools, you are a more dangerous fool. And with Gen AI, even more because the potential with Gen AI it's really high. So if you don't know how to use your hammer, then you will be a more dangerous fool, and with Gen AI even more. And when we are talking about Gen AI um, as a tool, we need to learn how to use the tool. And the risk with Gen AI is huge, right? I asked actually in the conference, what do we need to learn to use Gen AI? And the first answer that I got was English. We need to learn English to use Gen AI. Actually, we don't. We need to learn how to interact with Gen AI. We need to learn techniques to use Gen AI. We need to learn prompt engineering. Some will say, well, we don't need any more prompt engineering because we can use Gen AI to generate the prompts that will interact with Gen AI. But nevertheless, I think it's a good idea to learn how to use the tool, even if it will be automatic later on. And this book was also recently released, and it's a very small one, 68 page, but includes more than 10 prompting techniques. And this is the funny fact. When I ask in a conference how many of the participants will use Gen AI, at least 80% will raise the hand. But when I ask how many of them actually learned how to use AI, how many of them know one of these techniques, one of these 10 techniques in this book, less than 20% will keep their hands on. So most of the testers that are using Gen AI today, they don't know how to use the tool. They don't even feel the need to learn how to use the tool. And that's, for me, it's a huge risk when we are talking about Gen AI as a tool for testers. Um, but besides learning how to use it, Gen AI is not perfect. Everyone knows that. So one of the famous say flaws is hallucination, right? And I have this interesting exercise of the t-shirts, and probably most of you will know the answer, and you don't need to use any AI for that. If we have 10 shirts laid out in the sun that takes 5 hours to dry, how long does it take for 20 shirts? And most of you will say, well, it takes the same time because we just need a bigger room, right? So what do you think Gen AI will answer? Well, Gen AI, of course, did some calculation. It knows a lot, and it says that as you have the double of the shirts, it will take basically the double of the time, so 10 hours, right? Funny conclusion from Copilot. It's good that we are not in the business of shirts, we are in the business of software testing, and we need to deal with project managers, and probably one that is quite common, everyone already heard that with project managers is the one with women and babies, right? And if we have if one woman can make a baby in 9 months, so how many babies can 9 women make in 1 month? So all the project managers know the answers, right? Know this answer, but what do you think? Do you think that ChatGPT will also know? Well, in this case, I didn't use ChatGPT. I used the new kid on the block, the best one, DeepSeek, and after analyzing the question, he just bring this conclusion that 9 women can make one baby in 1 month. So please do not show this to your project managers. We already have problems enough in the projects. Data bias, so another flaw, and I think we had some talks today about data bias. And this one is a very interesting one where you can ask to generate not text but an image, a full or realistic photo of a full glass of wine. As you know, I'm from Portugal, so wine is something that we drink a lot in Portugal. Not my case. But if you ask to have a full glass of wine, this is what you get most of the time. You'll get half, not a full. Why? Because if you go to the test data, if you go to Google, for example, and if you search for a glass of wine, you'll see that I would say 99% of the glass will be half, not full, not completely full. So yes, now with the latest versions, you can already force the models to generate a full glass of wine, but still with some flaws. And by default, this is still what you get. And in this case, it was data bias, the bias of the data that was used to train the models. Another one on ethics. So this is a different area for Gen AI, and it's a quite important one when we are dealing with ethics. And this example is if you have a self-driving car and then you see a grandparent and a grandchild crossing the street and you are not able to stop. So what will be your decision? As you can see, ChatGPT said, well, let's collide with the grandparents so that we can preserve the younger kids with a longer expected lifespan. But if you go for a different one, you can get a different answer. In this case, with Gemini, it said, well, let's save the save the grandparents. So let's collide with the grandchild to protect the most vulnerable person. That should be the grandparent. But we have other Gen AI chatbots, and I tried some more. And Copilot said, well, I'm sorry, but I cannot choose any option. And to be fair, with Copilot, this is actually the right one, because Gen AI is to generate content. It's not really designed to take decisions. And what I'm asking here, it's a decision. So it's not the ideal scenario for a Gen AI platform, for a large language model platform that is designed to generate new content. But I tried another one, and I got this interesting answer that will be a random between the grandparent and the grandchild, and this looks like a more fair option because there is no bias on one or the other person, so it's completely random. Well, let's see. Interesting answers, I will say. So the future will wait for us. But of course, not everything is bad with Gen AI. We can also have very good use case of Gen AI to support software testing. For example, it can help us to accelerate test case design, where we can just provide some requirements, and the test case will be generated, and not just on the test case part, but also on the test data. So we always have this famous challenge where we need to test with production data, and we cannot use production data. How to deal with that? With Gen AI, we have already solutions today where you can create a model based on production data, and these will help you to generate any amount of test data that will be statistically representative of what you have in production. So it's a completely new scenario, and this for sure will help to resolve or to avoid defects due to incomplete or missing test data in the environments. But it can also help with the reports, especially when we have a huge amount of data, a huge amount of logs. To be able to take some meaning out of it can be quite challenging. So Gen AI is also quite good on that. Why? Because it will look for patterns, and that's what we want to have in our reports. Of course, this the obvious one where Gen AI can create automated test scripts. We already saw several, say, a huge amount of examples in the web where you can see Gen AI generating code. And if we are talking about automated tests based on code, Gen AI can help you a lot with that. But even with tools with like a rule framework, I know that there's a talk at this time also with the rule framework. You can use with very good success Gen AI to generate and to help you with the generation of those scripts. Gen AI can also help you to improve test coverage because it's an assistant. It's like a peer, someone that will think with you, and it will raise those scenarios that you never thought before. So it's like having a peer, especially in the days like today where we are still most of the time working remotely alone at home, to have a peer that will never complain and will always be available to give you some ideas. It's quite useful. So Gen AI is also useful for that. And this one for me, it's one, if not the most important one. I will say that it's the most important advantage when you use Gen AI. That is actually to release the testers for value-added tasks. For the testers to use the most important tool that you have in your tool set, that is your brain, right? Your critical thinking. So Gen AI can release you from your repetitive tasks to give you free time to add value to the project. And remember that we are not adding any code to the project, anything that will go live, not any new features. So it's quite important for the testers to make sure that we are still adding value to the tasks, instead to the project, instead of just repeating the same thing over and over again, just doing point and click. But we also have other use for AI, for example, on the training. And this is a new certification that is already available, now recognized and asked to be added on practical tester, where Gen AI and AI models are used to train the testers. So another use case, I will say a very interesting one, where you can use AI to power the learning, the more traditional learning systems that we saw in the past until now, and it's also changing the future of the learning and of course the certification schemes also. So going back to the initial slide or to the initial question, will Gen AI take your job? Well, lots of smart people, more smarter than me, already posted several articles about that. They expressed their opinion. For example, this one, for sure you know it. It said, coders, energy experts, and biologists will remain essential, at least for now. We don't know what for now means, if it's one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, you know. But it says that coders, so developers, will stay essential for now. Well, but I don't doubt that he's a very smart guy, but it was also the same one that predicted that no one will need more than 637 kilobytes of memory for a personal computer, right? Funny fact. Um, so today we have much more than this in, I will say, a smartwatch, not even a mobile phone. So, yeah, smart guy, but should we trust on his predictions? Well, probably not. Another smart one, CEO from OpenAI said that AI agents are already acting like junior employees. So, like our juniors in the team, more than internships, already the juniors, and soon they will discover even more knowledge, new knowledge that will help them to resolve complex business issues. So again, smarter guys than me, and this I think it was this week, so it's quite fresh. And we also have some numbers. We know already, and this was information that was shared, that 25% of the new Google's code and also 30% of the Microsoft code is already written by AI. So developers will need to be concerned about this even before testers. But not just developers. So 40% of the current Facebook posts are also likely to be written by AI. So all the marketeers out there should also be concerned because they can also lose the job to AI. And they are not alone because IBM laid off 8,000 human resource employees and replaced them with AI. So all the different areas, all the not just on software development, not just on software testing, but all the different jobs are being impacted. So as I said in the beginning, AI is changing the way we work today. No doubt about that. And well, at least some guys from IBM will agree with me that AI will take their job. But will Gen AI take your job? So what is my take on it? As you saw in the beginning, yes, I believe that it will take your job. Not Gen AI itself, but someone that is skilled on using Gen AI will do it. And funny fact, the first conference where I introduced this topic, there was a presentation after, uh, and it was a proof of concept of someone that was using Gen AI to improve software testing. And the team was a small team, only 3 testers, and the project went quite well. So the proof of concept went well, and one of the conclusions was that they were more efficient, and they were able to reduce the team. So instead of 3 testers, they were able to do the same job only with 2. So that means that one of them just lost the job, and the other 2 learned how to use Gen AI, how to be more efficient on the daily tasks that they had to do. So, as a conclusion, as a final takeaway, the rise of AI will not be the end of software testing. So I don't believe on that. I don't know any software tester that believes on that. But we need to change. We need to evolve. So this is a call to action for all the testers because we need to evolve. Doing the same thing, using the same tools, doing the same techniques that we did for the last 20 years is no longer enough. It's no longer efficient. So we need to learn how to use the new tools. We need to learn how to use Gen AI. We need to learn how to become more efficient, to add value to the projects. That's not an option. That's something that we need to do, or yes, we will lose our job. And if you think that's something that will come, in the future, tomorrow, no, it's not. It's already from the past, and it's evolving quite fast, faster than what everyone predicted. So we can expect it to grow even faster on the next years. So we need to start. If you didn't start yet, you need to start right away. Okay, don't lose any time. You need to learn how to use these new tools. You need to upskill to be able to use it efficiently, to bring value and efficiency to the projects. Of course, this will create new opportunities, not all bad. Um, you will have opportunities to for new careers that will come to increase efficiency, to grow in the career for the ones that are willing to do it, for the ones that are willing to adopt these new technologies. And I don't have any doubt that not everyone will be doing it. And that's why I say that yes, it will take your job. So it's your decision to be on the two persons that kept the job, or to be the one that lost it because he was not using AI, he was not bringing value, he was not being efficient. So thank you all um, for this time, and I don't know if we have any questions.
Yes, thank you, Joel, for this very interesting and eye-opening presentation. I'm sure that everybody who's joining us at the moment has a couple of things they want to think about and reassess. And yeah, it's quite scary. But we do have a couple of questions, so let's jump into that, and then you can give us some feedback.
Yeah, let's do it. It was a long day.
All right. Yeah. For testers interested in learning more about AI, how to test it and how to use it for testing, what resources would you recommend?
Okay. Well, we have several resources already available. So the first one that I will recommend, it's on the ICB itself. So we have a syllabus that was released in 21, if I'm not mistaken. So already 4 years ago, a long time ago, and probably most of the testers don't know about it yet. So it's a good time also to look. It will give you a good perspective on the AI overall, and I can also say that we are working on the new one, more focus on how to use Gen AI to support software testing. So that will come hopefully very soon. So stay tuned. Besides that, of course, you also have workshops and conference where you can go to learn a little bit more. It's The world is changing quite fast, so trying to understand what the other ones, what the community is doing, it's quite important to stay up to date. And the third option will be to look to the market. Okay? Several tools are already in the market saying that they are powered by or designed with AI first. So ask them for a demo. That's the best way to understand the potential of the tools, and if they are really using Gen AI, or if it's just another PowerPoint that looks nice, but it's nothing more than just a rule based. So that will be my advice.
All right. Thank you so much, Joel. Let's quickly jump into the next one. What final takeaway would you offer to testers who want to stay and not fall behind this rapidly changing world?
Okay, so if I only had to choose one takeaway, I will give my personal example. Every single day, I reserved, can be 15 minutes, can be half an hour, but I reserve some time from my day to learn something new. I forced myself to learn something new every single day, and I think that's in nowadays it's essential. If you stop doing that, when you realize it's 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 10 years. I have a very interesting and sad story of a tester that told me that the last time that she learned something new about software testing was 20 years ago, the first time that she started as a tester. So as I said, that's no longer an option. The world is evolving quite fast. So the final takeaway is AI is evolving. So you also need to evolve if you want to keep your job.
Yeah. Thank you, Joel. So this is then the end of our session, and I want to thank you for being part of the Testing Summit and
Thank you.
for sharing your knowledge with us. I mean, it's always a pleasure having you. Then I also want to remind everybody that we have our Best Speaker and Best Presentation Awards. So please visit our testingsummit.com website. On Joel's landing page, you can submit your nomination for this presentation, and we will be announcing the winners very soon. All the presentations that we've had during the day, as well as this one, will be available to rewatch on our social media channels, as well as the testingsummit.com website. So with this said, this has been an amazing day. Joel, always fun speaking to you. And yeah, I can just say thank you very, very
Awesome.
much. And everybody that
Thank
joined
you.
us, have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Software testers. Move beyond theory and master testing with the AI-powered ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q program. The ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q equips you with the theoretical skills and practical competence to truly excel. Learn how to apply black box testing like a pro. Estimate accurately, write flawless defect reports, and catch issues early. The ISTQB add-on practical tester by A4Q complements your ISTQB certification by turning knowledge into powerful action. Visit our websites and find out more information.